Mr. Chairman, I don't know if you people remember this or not. 4 or 5 years ago, Mrs. Gouge had probation officers here in her office, and they moved it down to Mrs. McKinn's office. And Miss Gouge said it took 2 people to do the probation. Now, Miss McKinn at the time was wanting them 2 employees to come to her office to help do all this. Now, they didn't transfer these people. Now, my question is, Miss Gouge, these 2 people that he took to do these probation work, did you lay anybody off at that time?
No idea.
Okay, now, this cause she got a little bit more extra work to be done. What has these 2 employees been doing all this time that was doing the probation work? So I think you need to make a bad mistake by giving her another part-time employee that soon is going to go into a full-time employee with full-time benefits when she had two people that should took up the slack which had all this work to be done. So
let me interrupt you.
Yeah.
There's nothing to support your statement that it will soon go into a full-time position with benefits. There's nothing in there about that.
They ain't nothing to deny it.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Mayor.
let me add something on that. You know, this committee the other night when this issue was brought up, we really didn't have any facts, figures, calculations, which we so many times find ourselves in that mode, that we make rash decisions without looking at the big picture. Now, I don't have anything against Ms. Gouge, and I want to make certain she's got an office that's run very efficiently, okay? But let's look at the facts. Look at the facts, and then you make your decision. You vote your conscience accordingly. Ms. Gouge, in her budget that she submitted June, allocated for 7 full-time employees. Of those 7 employees, some of them have worked there many, many years. Some not worked there quite so long. But Ms. Gouge has had a problem, as I indicated the other night. I just didn't know the extent of it when we were meeting in the budget committee. She had an employee that had some illness and retired, or was in our relationship with the county. So that took her from 7 employees down to 6 employees. And then she had another employee that sustained an injury quite some time ago and has been out on sick leave for a couple months or more. Okay? That brought her down to 5. Since that time, Ms. Gouge has now 7 people on staff. Miss Susan was out sick, is back. She came back last week. Also, we moved the lady by the name of Heather Davenport over from trustee's office, which gives her 7 employees. What's most important, though, you know, as county government leaders, we've got to ensure that what we do is consistently fair across the board for all county employees. All offices in this courthouse across the street work 37.5 hours, or at least their salary is based on 37.5 hours per week. All offices. In my office, this street, from time to time, can't get her work done in that 37.5 hour week. So especially when we were doing all of this clerical work for this administrative body that was outside the job description of the mayor's office per the statute, she had to go into comp time. She approved quite a bit of comp time. But she take it home with her at night. Also, when we were doing it in the mayor's office, we did a few things that the clerk's office is not doing now. You know, we have to look for ways of making our job much more efficient. And one of the things that we did, we scanned all these documents in, and we emailed it to each and every one of you commissioners that had email. To save you a trip down here from the head of Stony Creek or Roan Mountain or whatever, you have it in the luxury of your home so that you could look at it 2 a.m. if you wanted to. Analyze it, make sure what you're voting on, you're up to speed with. Since it's went downstairs, that's not being done. It's not being done. Now, why? I don't know. There's several other things not being done. But more importantly, when you look at the hours that that office is doing, as far as, on average, they work 32 hours a week. They work 31 week, 34 the next, on average, with the 7 employees. All of them don't work on Saturday. That 4 hours, 32 hours. So when you take that and compare it to the other offices, Ms. Gouge's people are spending 15% less time here in the courthouse than all the other offices. Now, is that fair to register deeds or clerks and the like? Don't think so. So if you take that 15% and you look at that for the 7 employees that she has, that equates on a 2-week period to about 77 hours, way more than a standard full-time employee. So if those people were working the same hours as everybody else, there would be absolutely no need for additional employee and additional cost.
They give you, with the hours that are there, they give you 38, and they give you one of them for.
It gives you more than one other person, additional person. But now she's not at that disadvantage. She doesn't have 5 employees. She's back to a full staff of 7. And my consideration is, it should be yours, what's fair and equitable to all. And if at some point in time Ms. Gouge takes on additional responsibility that she can't cover with those 7 people, then by all means support her. But there's got to be proof in there. And right now we don't have that today. I can understand that during this period when she was down to 5, there was a problem. She was able to manage through that, she did bring in temporary people, but now she's got a full staff, well within the budget, so why allocate any monies at all for that additional staff for that work?
Mr. Street?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question, these employees are working these hours, Ms. Gouge, are they getting paid for 40 hours? Or are they getting paid for 32 hours?
2.5 hours.
They're getting paid for actual hours work. Is that right?
But, yeah, but, there's no limit, everything's going out. Kathy has worked night after night after night, doing it. Nothing's just put on a night shift.
Okay. Just my statement. I mean, these employees, I realize that there are benefits. My understanding that this office has worked this way for years. Now, if we work these employees, Mayor, more hours, it seems to me that we're going to be paying them more money, right, for hours worked. Is that correct? They're all salary.
Let me correct that just a little bit. We pay all of our employees a salary every 2 weeks. They are not salaried employees. They are paid that salary to ease payroll. They are technically hourly employees. Majority of our courthouse employees are hourly. So their hourly employees are based on 32 hours a week. It's their average. So yes, if you work 37 and a half, you have to pay them 40.
Okay. With that said, since this is a part-time position, and I would assume that a lot of these employees make a greater rate of pay than a part-time personnel coming in would make. And there is no doubt, in my opinion, that this office, Mr. Mayor, with all due respect, needs these additional hours, and it's only fair. I know that Ms. Street was just overwhelmed with this, and we've moved all this work down here to this office. And, also, these committees, I know, in the committees that I serve on, we've had to elect our own secretaries. And I've got a problem with that. Ms. Street used to do that. She used to record our meetings. And we have valuable people, very smart people, Mr. Hicks, Ms. Coles, Mr. Renfro, that are sitting in our highway committee meetings, that are sitting in the landfill committee meetings, and education committee meetings. And they're sitting there and doing a secretarial job. Well, they don't get involved in the issues that we're talking about because they're so constricted to what they're having to do. So this put a great burden on everybody, Mr. Mayor, when you chose to do this. And I know that Mary has picked this up, and I recommend we give her the hours. Give her this $15,000.
Mr. Testor? I know in Mary's office spot off, when we did this, it put a very heavy burden on her.
You know, anybody can go in there any time before this, and I go there, I like anybody else, I got 3 vehicles, I buy tanks, and most, she's right in line with her employees, sitting on work. She don't sit back and do it, she works. She stays with us, she needs this, I know she needs it, because she showed us that she has good work ethic, and some of us are obvious employees. And this is all this stuff has been shifted on to her, and I feel like we need to give this to her.
Mr. Brown.
I'm on the budget committee and I do my homework too. I pull time sheets from that office and I'm looking at Miss Lewis's right now, and this was from October 29th to November 11th, and it does have docked out for lunch for there. And apparently she's getting the 56.5 hours, which actually equals out to 34 hours a week with full benefits. And she did work the one Saturday, and then she took a vacation day the following Saturday, and she has a whole lot of comp time build up, sick days.
Mr. Lawrence.
I go in Mary's office quite often. Let me remind y'all of something. Mary Gouge has worked in that office down there since 1978 as a full-time employee. And she worked there several years before 1978 as a part-time employee. Miss Gouge knows what it takes to operate that office. She works in that office. I don't have the understanding she does. I do know one thing. Every time I've been in that office, they are busy. They are very busy. Now, we can't put extra work on someone and expect not to give them something to help them out. And, this is just not right. They are overworked there. Murray runs a very efficient office. Every time I've ever been in that office, everybody's busy. You can walk in and you can get your tags in just a minute. If you live somewhere else